Hello children. Today we'll do the next part of the chapter, that is properties of ammonia, physical properties as well as chemical properties. Okay, chemical properties are more important, but first we'll see the physical properties of ammonia. It is a colorless gas. It is having a strong pungent choking smell, very strong pungent choking smell. It is alkaline to taste, like if ammonia dissolves in water it changes into NH4OH, and we know alkalis, they are bitter in taste, so same is the taste of your ammonia also. Physiological action, it is non-poisonous. It is not poisonous, but if inhaled in a large quantity it brings tears to your eyes, and if it is very large quantity it may lead to death also. But otherwise it is not non-poisonous if it is consumed in very small amount. Density, its vapor density is 8.5, that is, it is lighter than air. Vapor density is always half of molecular mass. Its nature is alkaline. It dissolves in water to form NH4OH, which is a weak base or a weak alkali. Ammonia can be easily liquefied at 10 degree and 6 atm pressure. Liquid ammonia, it boils at minus 33.5 degrees Celsius. Freezing point of solid ammonia is minus 77.7 degrees Celsius. Ammonia is highly soluble in water. 702 volume of ammonia get dissolved in 1 volume of water at 20 degree and 1 atm pressure. Okay. No need of learning this boiling point and freezing point, but you need to learn this solubility of HCl as well as ammonia. You can see ammonia is more soluble in water than HCl. Now fountain experiment, the same fountain experiment we have done in case of HCl also. Fountain experiment, it is to demonstrate the high solubility of ammonia gas. We do fountain experiment to demonstrate that ammonia is highly soluble in water. So what we do, you can see the experimental setup. So here in the experimental setup, children will take a beaker having red litmus paper, and then we will connect this beaker having red litmus paper with a jet tube. In a jet tube under pressure, the water or the liquid here, the litmus solution, it will come out in the form of a fountain. Now we will invert a round bottom flask, as you can see, containing ammonia gas. This round bottom flask, it will be covered with a cork having 2 holes. Through one hole your jet tube will go, and through another hole we will have a dropper. Now what we'll do, with this dropper we'll just put a drop, a single drop. We are not going to put a lot of water. We'll put a single drop of water inside the round bottom flask, only one drop of water, and as we know 1 volume of water, it absorbs 702 volume of ammonia. So ammonia which was present inside, it will be absorbed by that 1 drop of water, and since ammonia gas will be absorbed, what will happen, the air pressure inside this round bottom flask, it will decrease. Outside the air pressure is more. So this red litmus solution, it will come with the pressure and it will come out in the form of a blue fountain. Why blue fountain? Because your ammonia is an alkaline solution. So this red litmus paper, as it comes in contact with your ammonia, it turns blue in color. Now this particular experiment is very important. It keeps on coming. They ask you what is the reason or why we are doing this fountain experiment. So don't try to check that it is acidic or basic. Yes, that can also be checked, because here our red litmus paper, it is changing it to blue litmus paper, but its main aim is to know the solubility, the high solubility of ammonia gas in water. Just a drop of water, it absorbs so much ammonia that water pressure, that the air pressure here decreases, and red litmus solution rushes inside the jet tube and comes out in the form of blue fountain as it comes in contact with ammonia. The reverse happens in case of HCl. We have already done. In HCl we take blue litmus, and here it comes out in the form of a red fountain, because your HCl is a acidic gas. Okay, now next we have got chemical properties. So we will see chemical properties, but before that, yes, chemical properties, we'll go to chemical properties. So first is thermal dissociation. ammonia gas can be broken down into nitrogen and hydrogen at a very high temperature by electric spark. You cannot break it at low temperature, but yes, at a very high temperature, it will break into nitrogen and hydrogen. Now, basic properties. We know dry ammonia, it is a covalent molecule. We have already done it in the previous chapter. So, it is a covalent compound. So, if we liquefy ammonia, it will be neutral. But if you dissolve it in water, it forms NH4OH. This NH4OH, we know it is a weak alkali. So, if you dissolve ammonia in water, it starts acting like a weak base, because this weak base can be broken down into NH4 plus and OH minus ion, and then it will give all the test of alkalis. Like if you are bringing the moist litmus paper, ammonia solution, it will change it from red to blue. Methyl orange, it will change it from orange to yellow, and phenolphthalein, it will change pink. That shows that aqueous solution of ammonia is alkaline. But remember, liquid ammonia is neutral. It is not alkaline, neither it is basic. Okay, so it shows basic properties only when you dissolve it in water to form NH4OH. Your NH4OH is the weakest base or weakest alkali, we say. Burning of ammonia in oxygen, children. Ammonia is not a combustible gas, neither it support combustion. So it is not easy to burn ammonia in air. But yes, you can burn ammonia in pure oxygen. If you burn, you can see ammonia is a lighter gas. So we have taken a longer pipe, and then from another pipe we are giving pure oxygen. Remember, ammonia do not burn in air. It needs a lot of oxygen. It's not a combustible gas. But in the presence of pure oxygen, it burns with a greenish yellow flame. Remember, ammonia burns with a greenish yellow flame. Pure ammonia is colorless. But in pure oxygen, it burns with a greenish yellow flame to give nitrogen gas and water vapor. Okay. Now, the next one is your catalytic oxidation of ammonia. Now, same thing we are doing. We are again doing oxidation, but now we are doing it in the presence of a catalyst, that is platinum at 800 degree Celsius. So, here through one vent will give oxygen, through other ammonia will go, and here we are having platinum as a catalyst. So when both of them they react together over the catalyst, we get NO. That is, we are not getting, see here in this case we are getting nitrogen gas, but due to catalytic oxidation of ammonia we are getting nitric oxide, that is NO plus water. This nitric oxide, when it further comes in contact with oxygen, it changes into a brown gas, reddish brown gas, that is nitrogen dioxide. These both equations are very important, this one also and this one also. This equation you are going to read in the next chapter also, nitric acid, so keep it in mind. This is catalytic oxidation of ammonia in the presence of a catalyst, that is platinum at 800 degrees Celsius. It gives nitrous oxide and it gives nitric oxide and water, and this nitric oxide, that is NO, on further reacting with oxygen, it changes into NO2. So we get a reddish brown vapor of nitrogen dioxide. And what else will happen here? Like you get it in, what do you observe when? So we'll be writing this nitric oxide, it reacts with excess of oxygen, changes into a reddish brown vapor of nitrogen dioxide. And the platinum, the catalyst which we have taken, the platinum continues to glow even after the heating is disconnected, since the catalytic oxidation of ammonia is a exothermic reaction. So for observation you will be writing both the points. Okay. Now for here, for just oxidation of ammonia, what point we will be writing? We have to write ammonia burns with a greenish yellow flame and produces water vapor and nitrogen. And this particular reaction also shows that ammonia contains nitrogen and hydrogen. You get a question, write down a reaction to show that ammonia contains nitrogen and hydrogen. So you can write this particular reaction. Next is ammonia is a reducing agent. Okay, so we will read some examples where ammonia is acting like a reducing agent. So ammonia reduces metallic oxide to give their respective metal, water vapor and nitrogen. So you can see this reaction when ammonia reacts with copper oxide, which is black in color. It reduces copper oxide to copper by removal of oxygen. So it is reducing copper oxide to copper. Here this again you can get it as an observation. So what? The black color copper oxide, it is reduced to reddish brown color copper. Similarly, ammonia reduces heated yellow lead monoxide. Same with lead monoxide also, it changes lead monoxide into grayish color lead. So it is reducing lead monoxide to lead by removing oxygen. Now the nitrogen gas which we get, it is collected like this. You can see the arrangement here. From here we are taking dry ammonia. Inside you can keep copper oxide or maybe lead oxide. You will heat it. What will happen? The copper oxide, after changing into copper, it will remain here. The nitrogen gas, the water, it will come down and it will get accumulated here, and the nitrogen gas, it can be collected. Nitrogen does not dissolve in water, so you can collect it over water in a glass jar. So